What's up, guys? DeadlyCyclone here. We're doing a little bit different video today. I wanted to do just a vlog style video because I wanted to talk about the state of Fortnite as it lies right now. This whole chapter, chapter 5, not been great. A lot of people have really not liked it, and a lot of people, especially this season, don't like it because of cars and things like that. But there were a lot of changes Epic made on the road to Chapter 5 that sort of broke the game of what we used to know Fortnite to be. A lot of that rolls into what we're seeing with the boost in player count for Fortnite Reload, which is a brand new mode using old, more simple maps, hit scan, different weapons, things that are just more back to basics. So, what's the problem? What are we running into here? What I think we're hitting is critical mass in what you can put into a battle royale as far as design elements, weapons, changes, stuff, trying to keep it too fresh all the time. Call this whatever you want. Call it the five gum approach for all I care. Once we hit chapter 5, it felt like, we had the big layoffs. They let go of a lot of their staff. It felt like from then on, they were in the mode of, hey, we have to maintain Battle Royale so we can offshoot into Lego, so we can offshoot into things like the racing mode, Rocket Racing, so we can keep things like, they now own Rocket League, keep those afloat. So they got rid of all these employees that probably were a lot, and including somebody like Donald Mustard, who were a lot of the kind of heart and soul. And I'm not saying that there are not still people there that love and dearly love Fortnite, not at all. But when you reduce a count like that, the number of developers working on certain things has to go somewhere. So I believe chapter 5 is when we really started seeing, hey, we're going to offshoot people onto these other modes. Those launched, they're doing okay, I guess. I think they're neat modes, but I don't know if they're really going to hold the player count like Battle Royale is. And then as we kind of progressed into season 1, 2, and 3, it felt like they tried to make small changes and then a very big change. So if you remember season 1 and 2, the main issues with those is they were so similar. Do you remember, could you even tell me right now, was it season 1 or 2 that had the Zeus mythic? It was season 2, but 1 I can't even remember now what was the thing in season 1. I don't even remember. So it felt like those were too similar. There was a lot of feedback on that, but what did they do with season 3? They totally flipped it on its head, added all these cars, which I will admit, fun for a while. And when this first came out, this was my exact thought, is that this mode's going to be really fun for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden we're running into, this is car royale. You have to be in a car to win. You got to do all this. So what I think we've seen in this entire chapter is just the maintenance mode of Fortnite, if that's what you want to call it. Epic has sat on their haunches and worked on other pieces of the game or other collaborations or other games entirely, and kind of just let the small Fortnite Battle Royale team flip on their switches, add collab here, collab there. They added a Pirates of the Caribbean collab, which doesn't even make sense with the theming of the season. That's the stuff that I think is really hurting Fortnite right now. It felt like when people like Donald Mustard were there was a very thematic direction that the game took. So you had the story, a lot of people cared or didn't care. Each season, whether it was a Marvel season or a season surrounding, a big event like the Black Hole, everything, quests included, quests all the way up to even Battle Pass skins, all match that. And now we're seeing collab after collab, which aren't a bad thing. I like a lot of the collabs. The Fallout thing is cool, but rarely do they all have to deal with what the story is or the theme of the season. I think they started out well with this season because the Fallout collab kind of fits in, but then you get in the map and there may be one little area that's Fallout. If you played Fortnite a long time, you'll remember way back in, I don't even remember what season it was, we had a Borderlands collab, and they themed an entire area as Borderlands, and it was a completely different art style. You went into the area and it was fully cel shaded like Borderlands games are. We have nothing like that now. At best, we'll get, here's your update week. We're going to add this new location that has some reference to Fallout or a video game or whatever they're collaborating with that week. or here's a little nod to that game or book or movie. And we don't see that kind of thematic full season collaborations like we did before. And I think some of that started with a lot of the anime collabs because it feels like every week we get another Dragon Ball Z collab or My Hero collab. And I don't want to hate on all these because I do like some of the properties they've collaborated with. I just wish they were doing it in such a way that fit within the season. It wasn't just like, hey, our season has sand in it and Fallout has sand, so here's two whole Battle Pass pages dedicated to a giant mech suit that very few people are going to use because it's massive and you can't scale your armor to or your player to fit the right size on the screen. That one I think is a little closer to what the season was, but I mean we are lined up perfectly here. Mad Max collab that we never got. We had Mad Max Furiosa in theaters. This whole season's about cars, and there's literally nothing to do with Mad Max. So I know some of these are very hard to get because they're properties you have to go license them, you got to do all this, but it's stuff like that. So if we're gonna make a season around this concept, let's try to find the best collaborations for that concept and then let's drive the whole season and actually put in story relevant to that concept. So back when we had the first Marvel season, you had the whole area that was Tony Stark's headquarters. They had this giant kind of, I don't think it was floating, but it was this whole different portion of the map that had different, like the trees were different, the art was slightly different, and then you had Tony Stark's headquarters, and you had story bits that were, why is Tony Stark here? What's he doing? All of that kind of fit together, and it built up to the end season event when various things happened. So everybody loves the end of season events, but I wonder how many new Fortnite players even know what those are. Because we get a few here and there, but the ones we get now are just not as good. I know this video is kind of long, kind of rambling, but I want to know what you guys think. Like, what is the state of Fortnite right now? Where do you feel it needs to go? Does it need to just keep kind of on an automatic path? Do they need to keep adding things like reload to keep it fresh? Or do they need to get back to basics? And this is my view. They need to take the success of the reload mode and not strip out everything that makes Fortnite cool, not strip out all the cool art and all the collabs. Take it back to basics. We didn't need guns to change from hit scan to projectile. We don't need the Call of Duty-fication of Fortnite. What we need is a game that's based on the ability for everybody to shoot the same way, to feel like they can land in any location and have just as equal chance. A game in which you don't have to go get X medallion or your chances of winning go from 50% to 4%. A collaboration where it's not like there's not mythic guns that specifically are going to give you that much of an advantage. The thing I think people love about the reload mode right now is you can drop in, you can pick up a gun off the floor, and you can shoot people with it. You don't pick it up and go, oh, this has a red eye scope that I hate. I can't do anything with that, or it's got a silencer, it doesn't work well. It's yeah, maybe this is a gray tack, but that tack's gonna do exactly what I think it does, even if it does slightly less damage than a higher color. And that's where I'd like to see Fortnite get back to. I'd like to see it get back to the point where it's never going to be equal because there's obviously different guns, different rarities, but it's equal in the sense that chest spawn 100%, you can drop where you want to drop, you're going to have a decent loadout, and it comes down to who is the better aim, the better strategized player, the better player that knows how to rotate to endgame, the better player that can build and outperform people on that side. And in zero builds, the better person getting to the end circle, positioning themselves in a way to win. That's what Fortnite should be about. It shouldn't be about, well, hey, that guy over there has 3 medallions. We got to go kill him first, take all those, and then we can win. That's not good. And I'm a decent Fortnite player. I'm not amazing, but I'm decent enough to know that I could go kill that player probably and win. But that shouldn't be the way to play it. You're not going to get new players coming in if Joe over here has 3 medallions and 3 mythic guns and just obliterates them. So skill-based matchmaking plays into that. Long video short. I think Fortnite's at a weird position right now. It's at a weird tipping point where they've added a bunch of new modes and new things and put developers off to do other things. And they brought Reload in to see kind of what the temperature was. And I think you're seeing that the temperature of Fortnite is we want to back to basics. We want something that is story driven. We want something that is driven by what the player does and what their skill level is instead of where they specifically need to drop or this item they need to get to win. Fortnite needs to go back to basics, and that's my message. I mean, if you're a developer watching this, you're probably not watching this, but I love Fortnite. I love Epic Games. I love everything they're doing. I do not like that they laid off a bunch of people that could have helped with this problem, but if you're working there now, Fortnite is fantastic. I play it every week, but there's some changes that need to be made, and I think the reload mode is showing that. So I'm going to wrap up this video and just say that Fortnite's been around for 7 years now. If it's gonna go another 7 years with the success it's seen, they need to do something where they pull everything back. Regroup Fortnite, recenter it around what made it popular to begin with, bring everybody back for the tournaments, just get things to the point where it's a competitive game based on player skill and not based on who can acquire the best weapons, medallions, cars, that kind of thing. But let me know in the comments if you agree at all, if I'm totally off base and you're absolutely loving where Fortnite's at now, or if you have collab ideas or what you think in general, because I want to hear what you guys think. This is just me rambling into a camera on an iPad right now, but what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.